already, hello everybody, welcome to Beyond No Reason, where we find ourselves on High Noon Remake, the Clash of the Pros here today. So finally, a small team game featured on the channel. Literally, these people are very good, and they're also in the Pros clan, even Autopilot, though they don't have the tag in their name. Fantastic players. First, let me just say, these people are all in like the top 10 for a small team game on the leaderboard, so they're incredibly good, except for our boy Cronchychomp there. They just haven't been playing, so after the season reset, their TS score is just really low. Ignore that. They're still fantastic, right? Yeah, let's get started with our cool colored team here. So leading the charge is Pro Randy. Randy, of course, being a fantastic player. They've been playing a ton for a long time. They're just very, very good, right? 52 TS, playing Cortex, starting off with the bot lab there. Following that is Daywalker here in the green, playing Cortex, going to be building that shipyard, contesting the high seas, or maybe the low seas, you know. Looks more like a small lake, to be sure. And lastly, Shimon here. Shimon, I'll probably just alternate between them. Gonna be going for that vehicle lab, playing Armada. Let's go. Love to see some Armada players there. They will also be transitioning into air, which is a little weird starting off vehicles to go into air, but it is what it is, huh? So, leading the charge for the warm color team is Autopilot here. Playing Cortex in the red, 53 TS, building that shipyard right off the bat. Following that is X Factor Live, who is playing Armada in the yellow, going for that bot lab, which is more typical. They're also going to be going... Actually, I just lied. They are not our air player for today. Sorry. That's going to be Sashkorin in the orange here, playing Cortex, going for the bot lab. They are actually going to be making that aircraft plant later on. This game is fantastic. I mean, you think it's going one way, and then it swings the other way, and then it swings the other way, and by the end, we're all left confused, but happy, you know, seeing who the victor is. I might turn down the sound effects here just a little bit. They seem a little loud in my ears. The problem is, they always seem loud in my ears, and then when I go to hear the replay, they're always a little too quiet, so it's a bit of a conundrum. One day I'll figure it out. I've been telling myself I need to figure it out for like years, but... You know how it goes. All right, so Daywalker just going to be doing a little scouting here. Same thing for Autopilot. Autopilot actually starting off a little bit slower. Only have that construction ship out. They're going to be making a assault frigate instead of a supporter gunboat. So a little bit more power in the sea initially. Oh, they do have a supporter down here as well, actually. Just kidding. Yeah, these players are all going to be playing pretty meta. I mean, you can see, you know, they're all starting similar commanders in similar ways. I think the weirdest thing is this vehicle. I guess they just want more early game firepower. Janus is, of course, extremely good. And I'm actually a little bit surprised more people aren't going vehicles. So the thing with this map is your mexes tend to be more powerful closer to this coastline here. So these are 2.6. You can see in the back, they're 1.9, right? So, but you really want to contest this area. Ideally, you want to get across the waterway and grab these mexes as well, or at least knock them out of the game for your opponents. Of course, easier said than done, right? It really matters who's winning this on the sea. And in that same vein, it really matters who's winning in the air, right? But yeah, I think it's just going to be a really interesting game. It's a lot like Supreme Isthmus or Supreme... What's the other one? You know what I'm talking about. It's very similar to those maps, quite popular maps indeed, but it is just kind of a smaller version, right? And boats can pass through, which I think makes the game more interesting. I actually really dislike the maps where the boats can't pass through. I think it makes the gameplay a little bit too static for my taste. But we do have a little herring here. Yeah, whittling down this guard tower. But you can see, even with just a herring, like you can't grab this mex right here, right? And if they wanted to, you could also target this mex here. So that's two mexes that you can't grab just with one herring. So you have to contest that. So we do see Sashkarin going out just a little bit. Now, of course, the assault frigate going out as well, trying to take down the coastal torpedo launcher before it gets up. But again, very good building. It can take a lot of damage, actually. And the torpedoes, of course, great at focusing down ships, just trying to pressure them away from this coastal waterway. Randy's healing it up, you know, giving it a little bit more lifespan here. But I think we're going to be seeing... Sorry for the tongue click there. Oh my goodness. I'm an amateur. I'm a fool. We're probably just going to be seeing people lining up on the shore here, basically. Just a very long skirmish match here in the middle. I think it's really decided out on the seas. We start seeing some ship v ship combat, but of course, traversing this waterway is always difficult when you have, enemy bots and stuff lining up to assault you here. But a jellyfish from Sashkaran as well, which I think is a good idea. We are seeing Daywalker over here on the opponent's island, actually making a guard tower. Looks like going to be making some mexes here as well, before the construction bots from X Factor Live can get over there. And then it is. It's going to be a little bit of a rough start for our warm colored team for sure. In terms of naval power, it looks pretty even here. A couple of herrings for both sides, a couple of assault frigates for both sides. Definitely pretty standard. Do see a mechs going down there for Randy, but again, nothing out of the ordinary. It's very hard to contest the ocean if you don't have navy or naval units, right? Although, the water's shallow enough, bots can fire over. We're actually going to be seeing some shell shocker artillery vehicles coming over here from Shaman. See, I told you I was going to alternate every other time. You're welcome. Trying to burst down those ships. Artillery, not great at hitting moving targets, of course, especially not these shell shockers. The shells really just take their time getting to the target, but of course that is the point. High risk, high reward. They do a good amount of damage. Torpedoes still firing from this jellyfish. Yeah, going to be taking out a poor orca there, a little submarine. It's like putting submarines in the English Channel. It's a little bit rough because the water is so shallow, right? Although even with it being shallow, you still have to have torpedoes to hit submarines there, right? Or I think you can target fire, although they might have fixed that. I know you used to be able to. It was a little bit of an exploit. You could actually have just regular, like an assault frigate, target fire a submarine, depending on, where the submarine was in the water. A little bit of an interesting strat. We do see Daywalker really just sweep here. 3 extra mexes, not bad at all. Look at the economy tab up there. Actually still looks pretty even, to be fair. In terms of metal produced, yeah, it's not even, it's still very, very similar. Off by like maybe a couple hundred. Which, that of course can compound, right? That's the important thing to remember, but it's not going to be making or breaking the game, that's for sure. We are seeing a destroyer come out here for Daywalker. Very, very nice to combat submarines. They do have that torpedo range, right? So they can, fend off submarines, which is always nice. But we only saw one sub. I'm not sure if we're going to see any others. Definitely not the focus of this match, that's for sure. In terms of air power, still not seeing any planes in the sky. It is 7 minutes in, so it's a little bit late. We're also seeing autopilot trying to land, trying to do a little bit of a Daywalker, but not quite as successful. A little bit late there. The exploiters are up, which I actually really like from Randy, because obviously if you have a short or something like this beachhead where units can just walk on, they're going to do it at some point. So it's good to have the exploiters. They have more health, they do some damage, and they cost a little bit more extra metal to put there and a little bit extra energy upkeep, but really it's not that bad. I actually really like exploiters. One of my favorite things about the Cortex faction. Of course, Armada just gets your dinky Twilights. Who cares? They're actually good. They're good to stun opponents, but requires a little bit more micro and thinking, which I don't tend to do. Okay, so Pencer's here from Shaman. Going to be going on this island of autopilots, taking out a couple mexes there, unless they become opposed. Or seeing the destroyer micro back here. Not entirely sure why. Maybe they're suspecting something's going down, because I don't think they can see. Oh yeah, they are just starting to see. Oh no, the Pencers. Yeah, they're actually going to be playing a huge part in this game, which you don't really think of. They're pretty bad tanks on the whole, right? A light tank is almost worthless once you get past the 10-minute mark, and amphibious means they have even worse stats that they trade for being able to go underwater. But yeah, we are seeing the torpedoes come out from the destroyer, so it's a good plan. Of course, the amphibious tanks can fight back underwater, so they are going to be able to be protected there. And just a little thing real quick, if you have been enjoying the content so far, I'd really appreciate if you could subscribe. But that is all. Okay, so geothermal going to be going down here. There's another geothermal spot, closer to the front line here. So 2 geothermal spots for each front line, or for each team. And then we also have this advanced bot lab going down for Randy. Going to be making, of course, the advanced constructor bot first off. And then what are they going to be going into? Some Twitchers. Okay. Twitchers, combat engineers. They can just build some defensive structures. They can build some light units. They're pretty nice. They're good. And yeah, I imagine Rainy just doesn't have the economy. Yeah, plus 30 metal to really be going hard into T2 units. But every T2 unit counts, right? I imagine we'll be seeing a lot of hounds, a lot of Sheldons this game. Like most games, really, just kind of how the cookie crumbles, shall we say. Daywalker's still holding on to this part of the island, which is really bad for the warm-colored team. They're just losing so much metal. They also lost this island. Doesn't look like there's anything going there to take it back. Maybe Autopilot's commander eventually. Finally starting to see some airplanes in the sky from Sashkarin. A little, very, very slow in the air here from the cool color team. But something with team games you have to keep in mind. Yeah, you're the air player, but if you're not contributing anything to the ground forces, it's rough, right? Like Sashkarin is both trying to hold the front line and trying to make air units. X Factor's doing nothing. No, I'm kidding. I think X Factor is doing a little bit of eco here in the back, which is why we're not really seeing them contribute, which might pay off in the long run. But for now, yeah, they're getting shelled on their own beachhead, losing mexes, losing laser towers. They don't really have any forces to combat this artillery. Actually, I mean, grunts would be great. Just run the grunts in. But Sashkarin also worrying about stuff over here. All this big navy from Daywalker able to contest these mexes here. Real bad. Yeah, might even grab some construction bots there. Yep, seeing those guys go down. Always rough. Trying to get that T2 mex up, but is not coming up. Seeing Autopilot trying to do a little bit of the same thing, but they don't have the naval presence. Right, their fleet is A, scattered, B, I don't think they just don't have as many ships out. Part of the reason is Daywalker's been grabbing, that wasn't even me, grabbing all this metal here, right? This free metal to build up a bigger navy than their opponent, which is super nice. Now we do have a little bit of a gunslinger here as opposed to the really big gunslingers. Yeah, bit of a gunslinger there. Pencer's coming in here. Alright, these people gotta stop. They gotta stop. Yeah, contesting the take back of the metal. Only one mex was lost for Daywalker, so again, still doing good. Again, these are just T1 mexes, so it's not really the biggest deal in the world later on, but having that initial larger fleet, and they're able to do so much damage here, right? All along the coast there. So super important for the cool color team. They're definitely looking better than the warm color team. Eco actually is warm team advantage. That must just be because of the T2 mexes, right? Grabbing a little bit extra metal there because they do have that full eco player in the back. Like X Factor's been contributing almost nothing up to this point on the front line. Are starting to get some hounds out there though, and a lot of shurikens here as well. 6 of them and counting. Which shurikens super good. They're even grabbing some of these Pencers that are coming. Oh no, gonna be hitting some more mexes there. They really got to watch this this northern flank here. But honestly, they can't even hold the coastline here. With the hounds, the advent of the hounds, they might be able to hold these Sheldons back from Shaman. We'll just have to see. Autopilot still doing a little bit of skirmishing, but yeah, not too much going down over there from their navy. They definitely been less proactive with the crazy strats. Daywalker's been getting risky, but it's really paid off, hasn't it? Been doing quite well. Pencers slowly making their way to the T2 mexes up here in the north. If they grab a T2 mex, that's going to be a lot of metal going down for the warm color team. They still have, like a 20 metal advantage, which is real good at this point in the game. Yeah, one T2 mex going down. I think that's going to be the only one, though, so it could be worse, right? Could be way worse. We're seeing the Navy from Autopilot trying to contest these Sheldons here, and they're not doing a bad job. Grabbing a couple Sheldons from there. This construction bot wandering around in the water. No idea what they're doing. But yeah, I think Autopilot's a little bit hamstrung by trying to keep ships out here as well. I think they're probably wary about some kind of pincer maneuver with the old amphibious tanks. So trying to keep a couple ships with torpedoes out there to dissuade any of that kind of stuff. But yeah, it is hurting them. They could have gotten a couple more Sheldons there, I think. Daywalker still with the Navy here, doing a great job. More Sheldons trying to skirmish, but the Hounds have outmassed them. More Hounds than Sheldons means the Hounds are going to be winning, right? And we did just see, yeah, there's a lot of Sheldons here, though, so never mind. A short-lived win, that's for sure. Decent amount of reclaim on the field here. Only the commander are doing any reclaim right now, which is a little bit rough. Seeing this Rattlesnake go up, pretty nice. This map is quite small, so any kind of mid-grade artillery is going to have a lot of effective range here. Like these can shoot almost all the way to the other side of the coast. Nice. I think there's a spy bot going down there from the cool color team. Gonna be, oh gosh. There's a Sheldon fire coming in. The Hound's not able to do anything about that. Sashgrin cloaking, trying to get that D-gun off. Not quite able to do it. Yeah, actually getting, oh my goodness. They might be going down here, down to 30%. But I think they might just be able to escape at 20% of their health. As the Grunts rush in, or the Pawns rush in to try to save their commander. Looks like it has been effective though. Yeah, Sheldon's not moving back though. The Pawns might be able to get a couple picks. Not quite. Real close, but not quite. Now we do have a Mammoth coming out here. Almost called on a Mastodon. Great metal band, by the way. Daywalker still controlling this little isthmus peninsula over here. Just fantastic plays from them. Going to be sending some of these light ray salamanders. The medium heat ray amphibious tank. There you go. Yeah, they're quite good. Trying to get a couple more of these T2 mexes offline if they can. And also by doing this, they dissuade anybody attacking their holdings over there. Shurikens coming in here for Seshkarin. Doing quite well. Not a lot of anti-air. Thistle, I mean, Thistles are great against Shurikens. Oh my gosh, and they all clumped up there. That's quite rough. Yeah, losing quite a few Shurikens. Yep, and they're going to be forced to pull back a little bit. Another Rattlesnake coming up here for X Factor. Looks like that one did go down. I don't know if I mentioned that. A little bit rough. Applying pressure is always nice. We do have some medium mines coming out from Randy, which I think is good because they're cloaked. They can't just be shot down by ships. I mean, they can be target fired, right? But you know, they're going to have to know that they're there. In terms of the air power, definitely looks like it's pro Sashgrin with the W, but no bombers, so the air superiority for now doesn't matter. Because, you know, you can win all the fighter battles you want, but it's not going to affect anything on the ground, right? Maybe get some scouting off, but that's about it. All right, Daywalker amassing their navy here, as well as some anti-air bots. Looks like their salamanders didn't do too great of a job, unfortunately. Pipples have gone up for X Factor, so it is definitely wary of some of these sneaky tactics. In terms of economy, it looks like it has swung in the cool color team's favor. Finally, the X Factor eco could only hold the warm color team afloat for so long. And the little holdings here from Autopilot going to be going down to some gunships. Oh, the worst way to die. Radar tower going down as well. Yeah, these gunships have a bit of free reign, right? Taking down... Yeah, that was a really odd placement for for energy converters, wasn't it? Yeah, just taking down things with impunity. Slingshots going to be good against these guys. Gunships don't have too much health, but there's not too many of them. They're going to be forced to retreat, though. Actually, slingshots are quite good. Goodness, I don't know. Do they have the same stats as Thistles? You almost really never see these kind of floating units, so it does make me wonder. It says 95 DPS. Oh, fighters coming in for Sashkern as well. That's rough. And we are seeing, yeah, some gunships being intercepted, some fighters as well. These gunships hanging around, but Sashkern does spot them. And that's going to be curtains for these guys. Oh, man. You hate to see it. Oh, my goodness. Oh, yeah, 95 DPS for the slingshot. Do we find a Thistle anywhere? I know there's one over here. There we go. Oh, but this guy's got veterancy, so who knows? Yeah, 92 DPS. Okay, so even with veterancy, it's not it's better. So slingshots are better. Homelander reference? No. Okay, so these are the big bad guys of this game. The messenger cruise missile ships. Holy cow. They don't look like much. They shoot out a nice rocket that does fragment. And yeah, all these little bullets going to be destroying anything that's under them. So T2 mechs in progress, going to be going down there. And yeah, they have a huge range. They have a lot of damage. Great against structures. And because like so much of the map has coastline, like, so look at the range of these guys, right? You can hardly see, but it's all this red ring. You can hit almost everything on the map. Maybe stuff like this is safe, but that's about it. Yeah, if you have control of the seas, you have control everywhere with the cruise missile ship, right? But you do have to control the seas. Daywalker is losing their land possessions on the enemy team's island here, which is quite rough. We do have the geothermal going down for Sashkarin. Going to be taking out everything in the radius and the commander almost as well. And that's the power of a couple cruise missile ships able to just wreak havoc. And yeah, in terms of eco, looks like it's going to be... Oh my goodness. It is not looking good for the warm color team, is it? They are behind almost like 70-ish metal in like a 200 metal game, which is real bad. Okay, like 50 now. Yeah, you really don't want to see that, right? That's a quarter. They have 25% more metal than you. Doesn't sound like a lot, but that means that you can, when you have more metal, you can build more units, which trades more effectively against less units, and then, you know, your advantage is stockpiles, right? So if we look at the damage done, damage efficiency, it's on the cool color team side as well. So they have extra metal, they're doing more damage, more efficiently, and it's real bad out here. Yeah, Hounds just getting picked out by grunts, and then bombarded my messenger ships. Oh man, that's like a Hound's nightmare, isn't it? Really anybody's nightmare, actually. It is just real rough out here. Yeah, again, they can just, I don't know, that was not a great idea, was it? Actually better for them that it goes down before it's built, huh? We are seeing a battleship out here from autopilot. Now, battleships are great. They are slow to fire though, right? And this guy's all alone, just getting hit by missiles. Actually, all those missiles missed. We're gonna pretend like it was hit by missiles. Mostly the Mammoth trading blows with it. So yeah, great ship, but it really shouldn't be out alone. And that kind of goes for any ship, right? Messenger ships obviously are going to be terrible alone because they don't have great ship-to-ship combat, right? Yeah, so we are seeing a messenger ship out here for autopilot. Finally, the first one. And again, this guy's going to have so much range. Yeah, if this goes down, that's going to be really rough for the cool color team. Is it enough to swing this hide? I'm not entirely sure. There's not a ton around it that's going to be going down. Some construction turrets, that's rough. Maybe even the anti-nuke. Some anti-air as well, but nothing crazy, right? As long as the Sheldons aren't hitting the blast, I think it's honestly going to be okay for them. And in terms of energy, they are running a little bit of an excess. Yeah, a couple of them are. So, yeah, you definitely don't want it to go down, but it's not going to be horrific. Yeah, geothermal trying to go up again. Now it is the Prude, which means it gives you less energy, but when it detonates, if it detonates, there's less of an explosion radius, so it's not as bad. But I just think this spot's already getting bombarded, so what's the point, right? Really focus your energy somewhere else, please. Oh, there goes that geothermal. Oh, a lot of construction turrets getting chained off there. That's rough as they were building a fusion reactor. So again, that's definitely bad. It's definitely bad. Good pick from the messenger ships from autopilot. You love to see it. And yeah, still around 50 metal lead there for our cool color team. But yeah, the warm color team finally starting to push. A couple pawns going in. Cruise missile ships still getting shots off there. And if you're wondering why the Navy isn't going across to contest them, that's a great idea. I think mostly because they don't want to get caught out in the shallow water by land units who are able to, you know, be much more effective at harassing them than other naval units, right? Typically, counterparts for land units tend to be stronger than counterparts for naval units, but because they operate in different spheres, they don't really get to interact that much. But you'd really rather have them not cross paths, right? And something you do have to worry about if you do take your Navy out into the opponent's sea. Once you start losing, it's really risky to retreat, and it also leaves you entirely open. So it really comes down to one naval battle for naval engagements, which is a little bit rough, right? It's a little bit rough, and that's mostly because it's only one player on the Navy. And once you have the seas controlled, you can't build a shipyard, so you can never really get back in the game. If that makes sense. Which it does, of course it does. Pawn's still trying to make their advance onto the beachhead here. Sheldon's going down to tier 1 units. Oh my goodness, it's always rough. Welder's coming in to do a little bit of harassment as well. We do have a battleship out here from Daywalker though. Yeah, going to be absolutely hitting these sharpshooters in the back here. But sharpshooters are fantastic against naval units, right? Because of their long range and high damage. Perfect for ships, but they're still going to be going down to ship shots when they get shot, or if they get shot. Yeah, these messenger ships from autopilot still, oh my goodness, able to dish out the pain, right? With literally no counteractment at all. Up to 3 messenger ships. And they just have free reign. I mean, Lord, you know, heaven forbid that they get in here and start... I guess there's not too much back there anymore, but yeah, they're right where they need to be, and it's looking bad. Cool color team, yeah, actually overtaken in the medal count now. 10 medal lead for a warm color team after some hard-fought battles. Still don't even have control of this peninsula over here. Although 24 minutes in, you don't really need, you know, mech spots become less important as you can start just fabricating metal out of energy, which is always fantastic, you know. Free metal's good metal. Yeah, it's free bombardment. Now, of course, there are still the missile ships for Daywalker as well. They don't have a lot of effective targets left, which is kind of the big thing, right? Unless they get in here, which is going to be hard because there are sharpshooters coming out for X Factor, which would really, really punish any ships in this little inlet here. I need to know more more terminology for bodies of water. Yeah, whatever that's called. You know what I'm talking about. Oh my goodness, we do have a little spy by here from Randy though. That's pretty funky. Yeah, you feel like they would be able to see that, no? Interesting. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's getting really close there, isn't it? They might just be able to spot it. Yep. Oh, yeah. They just spotted it. There he goes. Yeah, gonna be probably detonating, but yeah, that's not gonna do anything. I imagine just sitting him there, waiting for a good chance to do the little EMP. If there's an anti-nuke and you stun it and you launch a nuke, it can't fire anti-nuke. So that's real good. Maybe waiting for some kind of opportunity like that. You never know. Having a free spy bot's always nice, right? I mean, that's just free intel, right? But yeah, anyways. Sneaky little thing. Didn't amount to anything. Fun to watch, though. Alright, so cruise missile ships hitting this Persecutor. Yeah, again, like this is just like a T2 artillery able to reach all the way over here. These guys are, you know, if they step forward even a little bit, that's a lot of them going down, but looks like they're not. In terms of Navy, it looks like Autopilot really taking the lead here. I mean, they've got 5 battleships to 1. Now, for me, I would go in. I probably would have gone in a long time ago, and it's easy for me to say that, of course. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure why you wouldn't go in. Of course, these battleships can traverse this water. Now, maybe you're scared of all of these guys, but I feel like that's just easy pickings, right? Not entirely sure. In terms of air, looks like it is pretty static. Not too much going down there. Once you start getting the anti-air ships out, you know, the T2 ones, they're real good. And air, actually, you kind of control the seas to control the air at that point, just because aerostorms are so good. Really able to... With their cluster fire, they can just take out so many fighters at once. It's not even funny. No, it is funny. It's actually hilarious. How about that one? Yeah, luckily, none of these T2 factories going down yet, but losing construction turrets is losing factory production, right? So it does hurt. Randy's commander just sitting out here in the water. Always an interesting choice. Never, you know, commanders getting torpedoed to death has happened before. Will it happen again? Stay tuned for the next episode. No. Only joking. Alright. In terms of economy, looks like it is actually dead even right now. This T2 factory is going down, though. They might want to build one in the back here. And there's, of course, the huge assault from our warm-colored team, right? The pawns and the grunts coming in. It's real bad. This actually might just be curtains for this front line here. Now, thankfully, there's a bulwark. Kind of wish the bulwark was more forward, but if it was more forward, it would have been bombarded to hell and back already, probably, right? So that's probably why it is in the back, but it's less effective there. So many construction turrets going down to just pawns. That's the worst. Little gunship here trying their best, but of course, not able to do anything because gunships are atrocious. Anti-nuke going down as well. Would really be bad if there was any nukes, but there aren't any, so it doesn't actually matter. But fantastic assault by the warm colored team, by yellow actually. X Factor Live killing it over there. However, the cool color team is still ahead in metal right now, which is just pretty insane, isn't it? We are seeing some torpedo bombers here from Shaman, able to take out a couple messengers there. Actually, all of the messengers. Don't say it like that. So yeah, doing quite good there. Now we are seeing an aerostorm out here. Now, okay, so aerostorms are good, right? They just took out a torpedo bomber. They're not good like 1v4. They actually took out 2. They're not good like 1v4, right? But yeah, so 1 to 2 loss ratio is actually not bad. They are 1,000 metal, which is pretty expensive. It's actually almost parity. This is 800 metal for 1,000, and they're outnumbered 4 to 1. So again, anti-air is always going to beat air power, right? So it's kind of, the air supports the ground, but it can't win the war by itself. How about that? Is that a maxim? You want to take that into your life. Say it at the office. Your next business meeting, and you can say Sun Tzu said it. And Sun Tzu didn't have planes. No, you're probably just misremembering. He definitely had planes. I frequently remember Sun Tzu flying in his old biplane, the old camel. Okay, so we are seeing salamanders here from Daywalker. Interesting, they're massing up here. I think they really just, their frontline shot. I imagine they probably built the salamanders to go do something sneaky. But now that they're losing their front line, they're probably not thinking about sneaky tricks anymore, instead thinking about how they can actually win. Now, of course, a Black Hydra out for autopilot. That is a flagship, the best ship in the Navy. Has an insane quad barrel gun here, some laser PDs as well, and of course the torpedoes. So it's basically a destroyer or a battleship, but just real good. So it's excellent at shore bombardment. Oh my gosh, shore bombardment, probably the thing it's the best at. So cruise missile ship on steroids, except it's not going to be taken out by a few torpedo bombers. You're really going to have to invest into a lot of air power to take that thing out, or naval power. But yeah, I mean, Daywalker is building Buccaneer cruisers, and not to hate on the Buccaneer, but it's no match for a battleship, which there are 5 of, and it's no match for a flagship. So looking real bad on the seas here for the Cool Color team. And in terms of economy, they're also down about 50 points here. So really seeing the tide shift as the sea power grows for the Warm Color team, the economy lessens for the Cool Color team. And it's really a combination of a lot of things, right? Messenger ships did a lot of damage here. The push here did a lot, like the base building. All the bases were up here. The economy was up here. Everything was up here. So when that got pushed, it's real rough. I mean, the problem with the map is there just isn't a lot of space to safely build things, right? Probably this is the safest as long as you control the seas, which is where X Factor built their stuff. And it's probably why the Warm Color team has managed to do so well despite losing the seas early on. And I shouldn't even say losing, but they were definitely outmatched there for a good 20 minutes. But 31 minutes in now, they're definitely on that comeback tour, baby. The band got back together, and they're roasting these guys alive. Oh, long-range anti-air, cooking some poor fighters. Yeah, in terms of the air war, does look pretty even here. I wish there was an easy way for me to see fighter and advanced fighter count, but I really can't. There are 59 Valiants here, which is going to be that T1 fighter. I don't know. Yeah, there's also some there's 11 Nighthawks too. In terms of the, yeah, there's 19 Highwinds. Okay, so Highwinds of the T2, so it might actually be in Shaman's favor. The fighter counts look similar, but they do have some more of those T2 fighters. So they go Armada for the fighters, or for the air power for the Cool Color team, and Cortex for the Warm Color team. I think Armada tends to be better in most people's eyes. Certainly Armada is the best faction in the game. No, I'm kidding. They deserve to be the best, but I think they might not be. I think for T2 Air, because they have the atomic bomber, which is just ridiculously powerful if it gets through. You know, if the skies are clear, it's a great tool. If they're not, it's just a huge chunk of metal that she just landed in enemy territory, right? Which probably goes for all units at some point, right? But it's more easily felt with bombers, which tend to go down pretty quick there. Yeah, missile ships hitting grand total of nothing. It's rough there. Honestly, I'd start bombarding these guys. They're just sitting there, right? Although they might just rush you out there. Now, there are quite a few battleships out here for Daywalker now. They do have 4. One's badly hurt, but still, 4 battleships, not bad. More cruisers coming out here. They just need more firepower, basically. Looks like we did see Randy's commander going down there, which is a little bit rough. It's not too bad. Of course, you have to lose all your commanders to lose the game. And 1250 metal at this point in the game, if it does get reclaimed, it's not the biggest deal in the world. The only thing is, commanders are great in the late game for being able to degun those expensive T3 units, you know. But, you know, would that have happened if he was alive anyways? Who knows? Who knows, right? I'm not sure why this is getting pinged here. Yeah, I mean, that's where the old eco is. Oh, they might be trying to do a little... Yeah, trying to get those Marauders up there, I see. So Marauders, T3 unit. So we're seeing T3, 33 minutes in. A little bit late, actually quite late for T3. Regardless, smaller map, less metal. Kind of makes sense, right? Okay, so Marauders, yeah, going to be coming in. Probably landing here. And there aren't... if they go in the middle here, there's no mines. Medium mines actually are able to do a little bit of damage to these guys, right? Because though they are T3, they're probably one of the weakest T3 units in the game, so they can't really take that many hits. They're really, really great for their surprise attacks, their amphibious quality. Any amphibious unit is going to be lacking in the firepower department. They're actually just going to be sweeping up the peninsula, which is kind of safe or fair. It is a safe gain, right? You know you're going to be getting these 2-2 mexes, and if you get lucky, you can get over here. But that's probably not going to happen, right? With Shaman's commander there, it's definitely not going to happen. But I don't think they know that it's over there. Now, they also have a little bit of light anti-air, so some fighters going down there for Shaman, which I think is, yeah, it's good for the warm color team. Any fighters down is good. I think actually the air power balance has shifted to Sashkaran, but that's just by looks. They kind of have 2 fighter wings here, don't they? We are seeing some gunships here. Yeah, Shaman's also put some points into bombers and gunships, which have just eaten gravel continually. Yeah, some oracles going down over there as well. So, who knows? Flagship, really, it's just real bad. They can just bombard anything in this range, right? So, yeah, they could even get that gantry if they wanted to. I don't think they have vision, though. Of course, tends to be a limiting factor, and beyond a reason, look at all these circles. They just don't really have the vision for a gantry over there. If they could get some radar ships or radar planes or something like that. There are no radar ships. Radar planes, sorry. That would be pretty nice, but who knows? Who knows? All right, so Marauders posturing here after that little cleanup. Yeah, and with the raid, they see no response, which is good because there are just no units for Randy here to combat them with, right? Really no lanyards at all, if you're looking at it. Yeah, quite weak. So these ships can just drive up here and just bombard this. Oh my goodness, bombard this. Goodness gracious. Yeah, that's what I wanted to write. All of that. They can just destroy everything in the vicinity. There's nothing to stop them. Wind farm going down. Oh no, not my wind farm at 35 minutes into the game. How could this happen? They're getting hit by a catapult here, which is actually pretty nice. It's definitely thematic, right? That's fun. Is it great? Is it the greatest unit against ships? I actually think it's pretty good because ships present a huge target. And it's not fat shaming. They're just big guys. So yeah, catapults are great against that. They can get a lot of effective damage out of their rockets. But I don't think a couple catapults are enough to turn this tide here. Now they are just target firing like mines and stuff. Kind of wish they'd be going for this kind of stuff, but I think they still want to get those marauders in. Yeah, again, a few medium mines isn't going to be the end of the world. I'd send those guys in right now instead of just taking needless damage, but it looks like the warm color team is doing well enough without my help. Some would say. Catapult going down to pawns. Oh my gosh, that has got to be the worst trade in history. Oh man, you hate to see it. Now the fleet from Daywalker's looking pretty scary at this point in time, and they might be trying to cross the channel there. But I think it's a little bit too late, as the Marauders have landed. They're just tearing up the base here. Honestly, once this gantry goes down, it's GG. If the gantry goes down, or if this stuff in the back goes down, I mean, yeah, it's over. I honestly think it's already over. One might say when your metal count is being doubled, it might just be over. But yeah, really fun game. I mean, the warm color team was on the back foot for a lot of that game. Yeah, we are seeing the GGs come out there from the cool color team. Everybody played great. Really fun game to watch. And I hope you guys did enjoy that game as well. If you did really like it, and if you're already watching, you know, all the way to the end, you might as well like and subscribe. Sorry to ask for the second time, but I don't know. I feel like it's acceptable to ask, you know. It's in your best interest. How about that? How about that one? All right, let's look at the grass real quick here. So units killed. Does go to Daywalker there. They just killed a bunch of guys at the end. Not really, actually. It was kind of continuous, wasn't it? More in the mid game, yeah. But I just want to see in total damage dealt. Yeah, autopilot at the end there, really spiking up. They just did a fantastic job. So I really enjoyed seeing that. X Factor with the pushes as well did great. Hope you guys did enjoy. I will see you all later. Adios.